Hey, what's up guys? Thank you so much for stopping by and welcome to part 2 of the Retro Game Lounge Halloween Creature Double Feature Special. On part 1, if you have not checked that out already, just go ahead and click that link right there, pow! Right on your screen, where you can watch Chuck and I go ahead and take on nightmare creatures for the PS1, man. I had a lot of fun playing that game.
It's a great game.
It is a great game. Definitely one that flies under a lot of people's radar, I think. Definitely, if I do a PS1 Hidden Gems video someday, that would definitely be on the list. So speaking of our friend Chuck, in case you're wondering why my buddy Tommy, TheIcyOne, is here and Chuck is mysteriously absent. Chuck, guys, is having some issues with his back, actually. He's actually got a pinched sciatic nerve. He's in a lot of pain right now. He is getting help. He is okay. It's just he just did not feel up to doing this. He's very, very sorry that he could not make this, guys. It was breaking his heart that he couldn't be part of this video, but he wanted to go ahead and have me let you guys know that, let you guys know he appreciates the support and all the great comments and everything that we get. And Chuck and I we were going to do something else here for you guys for Halloween, and we're going to do that. You know, when Chuck feels better and he feels up to it, we're going to do another special video for you guys, hopefully in November sometime, if he feels up to it. So just stay tuned on that, guys. We will get that together as soon as we can. But in the meantime, I brought my buddy Tommy here, TheIcyOne, who you've seen on Retro Game Hall. He joined me last time on Retro Game Collecting 101.
Yeah.
And Tommy, welcome to Retro Game Lounge.
Hey everybody.
You are the first person ever to be on this show besides me that's not Chuck.
And I made sure to wear a hat.
Yes, you have to wear a hat when you're on Retro Game Lounge. So Tommy's going to be helping us out here. Today, what are we going to be doing? We're going to be talking about 5 more Halloween titles for the NES. Last year, Chuck and I covered 5. If you have missed that, you can go ahead and check out that video, pow, right there, where we covered our, initial, just our first 5 picks. Not necessarily a top 5, but just 5 Halloween suggestion games. So Tommy and I put our heads together on this one. We actually came up with an additional 5 NES games that we've actually been playing recently and going through just to kind of refresh ourselves. And we wanted to go through them one by one, let you guys know about them, let you know what we think, and why we feel they're good Halloween titles. So without any further ado, here we go. Okay, so first game on the list, Chiller. I've talked about it before. We used it as the example in Retro Game Collecting 101 as definitely one of the rare games.
It's definitely a rare game.
It is not easy to find. Tommy doesn't have it. I've never met another collector personally that has it. I'm sure there's plenty of you out there who do, but it's definitely hard to find. I've never seen it for sale in the wild. Have you?
It's definitely it's definitely a title I'd like to have on my shelf.
Yeah. In that capacity, it excels. It's got a cool box. It's definitely a conversation piece. It's a rarity among NES collectors.
And
but
it's off license.
Off the beat path. Yeah, it's a pirated game, basically.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not... Yeah, and very controversial game when it came out originally in the arcades in 1986, I believe. This kind of went way before the whole Mortal Kombat, Night Trap thing, guys. I mean, this was years before that. A completely different decade where... by many people's standards, it's considered like the most violent arcade game of all time, since you're blasting apart like innocent people.
And it's got a couple nudity shots, I think, that
it does.
Were definitely things that I'm pretty sure got pushed out of the arcades pretty fast.
Yes. One particular scene is they haven't really explained exactly what this is, whether it's just a woman pushing a baby carriage or if it's a nun.
I think it's in the first level.
Yeah, it is in the first level, and you shoot her, and I guess, and get points.
Yeah, and you get points, and I think she actually stays around, so you can just continue to shoot her in the carriage.
And the carriage, yes. Shooting zombies, all kinds of ghosts and monsters and stuff, but I guess the more infamous part of it is the torture chamber scene where people are strapped to racks, and you're basically blowing their body parts apart. To be perfectly fair, guys, in the arcade game, it was a lot more bloody than the NES version really is. The NES is definitely really watered down. It really looks like a bad Atari game.
Yeah.
More than anything else. I mean, it's not even up to even beginners NES standards.
I'm not sure that they actually toned it down because of the, trying to make it less graphic. I think they toned it down because NES couldn't handle what the arcade had.
Yes. That and the fact that the developers is some shady shit. They obviously did not know what they're doing. So, as far as the gameplay on this is concerned, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. We sat down to play it. We had some trouble actually getting the thing to work in a co-op capacity. Like, it works fine in single player, at least as far as just using the NES controller.
I wouldn't recommend using a light gun, honestly.
No. I mean, we tried the light gun in 1 and 2 player mode, and just getting the thing to hit anything. I'm talking like putting the gun up to the glass, like this. We couldn't hit a damn thing. So,
and I think it's based on its hitbox. Like,
it is.
If you use the controller, you'll see you actually have to aim at the parts in order for them to actually do anything.
Yes. So the hitbox on these things is actually really, really small. So even if you're using the NES controller like old school Operation Wolf style, your accuracy on this has to be ridiculously, just laser accurate. I mean, it's just insane. So on top of, the co-op version, or the co-op mode rather, not really working so well for us, it's really not that great of a game. I mean, it's really not. It's not really all that fun.
It was a major buzzkill.
It was. I mean, you would think, all the hype surrounding this thing would just be, like, you'd be like, oh my god, look at what we're looking at.
I was expecting it to be bad, but
yeah,
not working bad.
Yeah, it doesn't go all the way back around to being good. It's just plain bad. Not really a good game at all. I only made it to, I think, like the third or so level, which is, I think, is third or fourth level, which is the torture chamber. From there, it's the whole premise of the game, guys, is you have like a monster meter, and you've got to get so many hits before your life runs out. So you're kind of working against the clock every time, figuring out things to shoot. It's just not really a good game, not by any stretch of the imagination. Like, it's cool to collect, but other than that, I mean, we couldn't get the two. It's supposed to be. I'll show you right here on the box, guys. Right there at the bottom, it says a simultaneous two-player game, and it's got the guns crossed like this. What does that tell you? But if that wasn't enough, I'm going to read you guys verbatim off the back. A 1 or 2 player simultaneous game. Team up or compete with a friend for an incredibly fun experience. Maybe they meant team up with an NES controller and then with a light gun?
Which we kind of got to work.
Sorta. Like, I think Tommy was using the NES controller and I was using light gun. I think I hit maybe one thing. It wasn't fun. Like, I was expecting it just to be like stupid light gun shit with 2 people, but
yeah, I was expecting it not to be hard, like just ridiculous, funny, zany,
and it wasn't.
No,
at all. I mean, it's, as a game, I can't really recommend this. But that being said, however, it definitely fits the mold of like a Halloween game. I mean, look at the cover of this thing. Dead people are cool. On the gravestone and the kind of things. You're in graveyards, like the torture chamber, the haunted house, and all this other stuff. It definitely fits the mold of a Halloween game. Not a good Halloween game, but hey, this isn't the top 5 Halloween games. This is just 5 Halloween games.
And I would definitely recommend, if you see it out in the wild, to grab it, especially if you're a collector.
Absolutely.
It's
the cart by itself, $70-$80.
Great conversation.
Yes. So if you see Children in the Wild, go ahead and grab it just for pure collecting purposes, but that's really where your expectations should stop. Okay, so next up, Monster Party.
Yeah.
Definitely one of the titles that is on the rise as far as price. It's making it up almost in the $20 range.
And it's a pretty fun game.
It's not bad. Like, it's definitely kind of zany in the respect, like, it's not just, quality control bad like Chiller was, but it's very interesting because of the things that you run into in this. You're just a dude with a bat, basically, who gets to turn into monsters, and
flying monsters.
Yeah, and flying monsters and stuff. We didn't get really far into the game when we tried to play because it's actually pretty difficult, but about halfway through the level, you basically look like you're going into hell. Like, it looks like 8-bit Doom.
I was kind of curious if we got further into the game if it turns more and more hellish as we go.
Yeah, I mean, like, bleeding skulls and all this other stuff, just all kinds of graphic things. And
it definitely looked cute at first.
Yes, it just looked like a kind of middle-range NES title where it's kind of quirky, side-scroller, hitting people with your bat and all this other kind of stuff. But little factoid for you guys, a copy of the Japanese prototype for Monster Party was recently found and sold at auction, and the gentleman who bought it actually put up the footage of it. What did you think of the footage?
A lot more creepy. I don't know why that version didn't ever hit the shelves here, at least.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, with games that we have, like Chiller and stuff, there's no reason we couldn't have had... It wasn't disturbingly creepy, but it was definitely a step up from what it is now.
I agree. I mean, it was just kind of like, this is kind of weird, to see this on an NES card. It definitely stands
It honestly
alone.
looked like it had a lot more detail to it.
It did. I guess they just kind of watered it down for US versions, but I don't know if I would really call this a great game. It's definitely interesting. Like, I would almost like to see how it comes out. Just the translation of the dialogue is kind of weird. Like, sorry, I'm dead. I was like, what the fuck?
Or,
That's morbid.
Please don't hit me.
Yeah, please don't hit me. You know, it's like, okay. So, in that capacity, it's kind of weird, and I guess that's the main reason that I suggested that we put this one in the pool in the first place, just because it's kind of off-color. You know, it's a little bit zany. But regardless, you know, dude, it's called Monster Party. You know, you look on the front of this thing, I mean, look. Dracula, you know...
I mean, it's basically the classic lineup of...
Pretty much. You know, Creature from the Black Lagoon, you know, Medusa, you know, the plant from freaking Little Shop of Horrors. I mean, yeah. This definitely fits the mold of a Halloween NES game, for sure. So next up, Ghoul School. Definitely one of the weirder titles for the NES, but... And definitely getting up there in price, man. This one's already north of $20. Okay, so we were checking out the instruction manual that I have for Ghoul School here, and it's got this entire story, like a 10-page kind of story, almost like Tommy said, like a children's book, where it details the whole thing. And in a modern game, this would be the kind of thing that you would have as like your intro movie or something.
Yeah, your
like
cutscene at the beginning.
Exactly, and like now it's like the whole art of the manual is just kind of gone by the wayside for obvious reasons.
Damn, I've opened some games and there is not a manual anymore.
I know, because you almost don't need one, but that's kind of sad to me, but I digress. So, what is the game about? Alright, so you're this guy named Spike, and you're a senior in high school, and basically he digs up a freaking skull that has this kind of unearthly glow to it, and what does he do?
Always a good idea to dig those up.
Yes, always a good idea to dig those up, and what an even better idea? Bring it into your anatomy class. And so basically, Spike is single-handedly responsible for turning the entire school into a ghoul-filled, like, mayhem house, where he has to survive the night using, at least at the beginning, his trusty baseball bat, which is ridiculously short, and you have to get uncomfortably close to enemies.
Yeah, we were kind of calling it just a really big knife.
It really was. I mean, it doesn't look like a baseball bat at all. It looks like he's carrying like a Bowie knife or something. So it has like the most pointless feature in any game I've ever seen. So you're in a high school, right? And you're going down the halls. What do you see in a high school? Lockers. And Spike actually has the ability to hide in lockers by holding the up button.
Which is amazing.
Which is cool. I mean, that's a really crafty idea, but here's the problem. It's useless because you don't have enemies that are walking past you. They're basically stationary. They're like, go forward, then go back, then go forward, then go back, or they'll just be jumping straight up and down. So it's like...
They don't move far enough distances that it would matter if you hid in a locker near them.
No, not at all. We did not see one single logical use.
They probably just walk the span of 2 lockers, so there's no use.
No, nothing. It's completely pointless. That, and this is also an incredibly hard game. We weren't even able to get to one of the bosses, but from what we learned, like flipping through the manual, eventually you get things like shoe power-ups, where you get spring shoes, suction shoes, guns. For some reason you get a towel that he uses to whip people, and that's stronger than your baseball bat. I don't know how the fuck that works, but...
Must have a longer reach.
That would be fine. You get, like, ray guns, like the Digestatron or something like that. All kinds of really zany shit, but really big sprites on it. I don't know if you noticed that. Like, the character model is actually really large. Not really graphically impressive, at least in my opinion, really at all.
They looked kind of interesting, but they were all solid colored, so you couldn't really make out any details.
No.
They were... I think one was a goblin that was throwing its head.
Yes, and another one was throwing his hand.
Yeah, one was kind of a fish-looking monster.
Yeah, kind of.
Did you run into Medusa?
Yes. Absolute pain in the ass. Like, this is frustratingly difficult because of the hit detection. I mean, just everything about this is like controller breaking frustrating. But why does this fit into the Halloween category? I mean, guys, you're in high school. It's very, very 80s. You know, you're dude with a friggin' mohawk with a baseball bat, and you're like beating the shit out of ghouls, like monsters and demons and stuff. This definitely fits. This absolutely fits the category. So, do you have any final words you want to let everyone know about Ghoul School?
Don't bother to hide in the lockers.
Yes, don't bother in the lockers. And don't expect a really good game either, but still an interesting playthrough regardless.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up, Dr. Chaos. This is one that I would definitely think a lot of people miss.
Yeah.
It's hard to categorize exactly what this is.
Side-scrolling adventure game.
Sorta, yeah, with a little bit of 3D, kind of like Goonies 2, or The Uninvited, or what am I thinking, Deja Vu, like any of those games, like a little old school point and click. So in that capacity, it's actually kind of interesting, you know, because it does both of those things. It's not entirely one or the other. Okay, so why does it fit the Halloween mold? Okay, you're stuck in these really weird houses and locations where you got all kinds of bats, rats, like all kinds of weird monsters and stuff like that coming after you. You go into rooms to find items, again, much like Goonies 2, knock on the wall, open this, open that, you get a gun, grenade.
I mean, you even sometimes open a door and then blam, out comes a monster.
Exactly, and it actually chases you into the hallway, which I thought was actually kind of interesting. That was really well thought out, actually. So, it is a little bit difficult as far as navigation because some of the rooms, the doors in the hallway connect to each other, so it's really easy to get turned around. It actually took us quite a while just to get out of the first level.
I think once we actually figured out that it had, north, south, east, and west, we finally got it.
Yes.
A little.
And one major hit that I'm going to have to give this thing. This has the most unnecessarily difficult to figure out, I guess if you have the instruction manual it would be easy, difficult to figure out menu control system I've seen. So
yes.
When you go into 3D mode and you've got several options, like you can open things, pick up items, etc. There's a little menu on the side that's got like go, grab, open, etc. We could not figure out how to make the little cursor jump down that to select different things. Like,
I think that was 10 minutes of gameplay time.
It was at least 10 minutes of gameplay. So A makes you do things, obviously, that's, hit, pick up, whatever. The control pad just moves you around. Select and start really do nothing.
B doesn't do anything.
B doesn't do anything. But what does control that menu? B plus up or down. You have to hold down B. How does that make sense? Like, why would you make it that complicated? Just make B the toggle to go through the list.
Yeah.
That just seems like a really unnecessary
step. Should just be tap, 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 and you...
Yeah, because there's only 4 items. It's not like there's a whole list. So, I don't know. I just thought that was really stupid that, it took that long for us to figure it out. But, these back when these games were made, you actually relied on the manual to actually teach you how to play the game. It wasn't as intuitive. There were no tutorial modes or anything like there is with modern shooters where it takes you through and handholds you every step of the way. But, regardless, final thoughts on Dr. Chaos.
Actually, a pretty good game. I want to give it another go.
And it's not expensive either, man. This is like a $4 or $5 game. So
yeah,
it's
I'd
very
say
common.
if you can find it out there, grab it.
I would say so. I think this one definitely fits the mold for Halloween NES titles. So last but certainly not least, we have Nightmare on Elm Street for the NES. By the notorious LJN, as quoted by my colleague James Rolfe. Notoriously bad games, but...
We did find out something else. It's actually made by Rare Ltd.
Yes, that rare.
That's pretty awesome.
Yes, Killer Instinct, Donkey Kong Country, Perfect Dark, GoldenEye, that rare. Really, really awesome. Not an awesome game. Like, I'm not going to go as far as say it's a bad game.
It's not a bad game, but it's not astounding. I mean,
No, it's not great.
But it's fun.
It is fun, and it does have one feature that, in my opinion, sets it apart from every other game on this list, but actually apart from a lot of other NES games. Guys, it is 4-player, so you can use the NES 4-score and the NES Satellite to be able to play this. 4 players simultaneously, which is really strange. That a game like back then.
For what game it is, too. I mean, that's.
Yeah. I mean, you're running around in like Elm Street / Nightmare Land, like punching stuff, collecting Freddy's bones and stuff. So it's almost like a side-scrolling platformery type of thing. That's really odd, that they made that 4-player.
One of the things I would definitely find odd about is when you're not in the nightmare, there's still things trying to kill you everywhere.
Yeah, that's really weird. Like, I can understand, like, weird skulls and bats and all this other shit trying to kill you when you're in nightmare mode, but if you're just walking down the street, on any other day or night in Elm Street, why is everything, including zombies, out to get you? That makes absolutely no sense.
I gotta say, the rocks falling from the sky are probably the worst one.
And bats dropping rocks on you.
Oh, those weren't just bats. They were just rocks.
They're just rocks. But there were bats dropping rocks, too.
Yeah, that'd make it worse.
Yes. It almost looked like they were shitting on you, so, like, backline. But, but I will say this. Of all the games here that we played, this I regarded as the most fun.
Yeah.
It was the most interesting. A lot of random events happen, like sometimes Freddy can just like show up.
Yeah.
And you actually have to fight him.
I think that's if there's no progress, it starts, you like piss him off.
Yeah, Freddy just like interjects and you gotta battle him. You have to fight like little miniature bosses when you collect the specific number of bones that each little level has. You have to fight Freddy in a different incarnation.
Basically just pieces of Freddy.
Yeah, like the first one's like his hand on this little arm coming at you, which is really kind of obnoxious. Then his like mouth, shooting tongues and all this other stuff. Then his hand loose flying around the room.
I don't even know how the hell we're supposed to beat that one.
No, I don't know either. It's definitely a difficult game. Like the jumping is hard because when you stop running, your guy doesn't stop running, and your guy jumps like really high, and the play control is just a little bit off. It just needs a little bit of tuning. But other than that, it's definitely fun. Like it's something Halloween based and NES based that's co-op. That again, 4-player co-op, not just regular co-op.
Yeah, I definitely want to do this with 4 players at some point.
Oh, absolutely. This would actually be a blast. So, this one I can actually recommend. If you can pick this one up, it is getting a little bit expensive right now. I don't know why, because it's not exceptionally rare, but it's like 30-ish right now as far as loose card is concerned.
But if you do some searching, you probably get a little cheaper than that.
A little bit, yeah. So, if you can grab it, if you find it in the wild, man, go ahead and get it. If it's definitely cheap enough, go ahead and grab it. It's definitely cool. Way better than Friday the 13th. The other LJN game we talked about. That game's fucking horrible. This is definitely a step up from that, if nothing else, just because of the co-op.
Yeah.
So that about wraps up this year's 5 Halloween NES games. I want to give a very special thanks to my buddy Tommy Icy. If you haven't checked out his channel, go ahead and click the link right down there in your description box. Check him out. Does really funny playthroughs and is like funnier at failing NES games than anyone I've ever seen. It's fucking amazing. So, final thoughts?
Definitely try to get a hold of Dr. Chaos and Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yes.
Those were great games, I think, out of this lot.
Yeah.
The rest, you can find them in the wild. Otherwise, don't go out and search for them.
Otherwise, don't really bother. They're not really all that great games. If you're really out to collect them, fine, but just don't go into it with high expectations, because you are definitely going to be let down. I know we were. So, especially with children. God. So, I want to thank everyone so much for stopping by to this part 2 of the Retro Game Lounge Halloween Creature Double Feature. Again, if you have not checked out part 1, go ahead and click the link right there on your screen, where Chuck and I play through Nightmare Creatures on the PlayStation 1. Had a lot of fun with that one. And as we always say here on Retro Game Lounge, we're certainly not running out of games or time to play them. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.